Good afternoon and welcome to a Mitch'n and Mauck'n about the Cardinals short hop. I'm Mitchell, and with me from the Superstition Ranch, Kettle Farm and Gentleman's Cabaret, it is the mouth of the West, Tyrell Mauck. Tyrell, before we get started today, everybody wants to know, how long did you make it on the bowl Thursday night?
But it was a 2 seconds because that dude hit that thing hard. I did one bump and back, I was out,
Much
you
like his
know?
bedroom skills, ladies, it was a 2 seconds and out. We
Hey, it's a
are
race and I'm gonna win it.
we are patiently waiting for the start of the Cardinal game. We are in now hour number four of the rain delay. The last information we got from X from the Tampa Bay side, the weather has worsened. Still no baseball. It might be 6 o'clock tonight, but Major League Baseball, in their infinite wisdom, says we're going to play this game come hell or high water because of the playoff implications that are coming here. So really, Ty, the Marlins series, a current split. We could talk about the 3-2 road trip so far. We could talk about the trip to Pittsburgh. And hey, they get to avoid Paul Skeens, so that's a win in itself already.
Absolutely.
But what I wanted to talk about as we open the show, let's hit the injury bug. Mason Wynn just took a knee injection. It seems this team is made of glass. Newbar's hurt every other week. It seems that Jordan Walker's up and down, in and out. Now Victor Scott's hurt. Donnie's been up and down. You're kind of big
But
in the
Gorman
strength and
has that
conditioning
back issue.
community. Yeah, and you're big in the strength and conditioning community. Is it time to look at what their strength and conditioning program is, or really lack thereof, on why it seems like their guys are always having these nagging injuries?
Absolutely. It goes back to training 100%, and if you can't keep your guys on the field, what are you doing? And this has been a lingering issue for several years, a lat issue all the time. There's a shoulder issue. I'm surprised that Wynn's been dealing with this knee issue all year. And Gorman, they got to rest him periodically for his back. Wynn's got a back issue too. So I think it starts down at the minor leagues with your strength and conditioning program. They want to have everything aligned the same so that it has a standard for everything. And I think they kind of need to get away from that and individualize the program for everybody. I know they do it in the off season for nutrition, but they really need to get a new strength and conditioning program. I mean, you do it in the MLB the show, so why not here in a Major League Baseball team?
Right, and high schools are notorious for that. My junior high program ran the same strength program my high school program did when I was a head coach. Is individualized for the sport, but it seems like the Cardinals are one size fits all, and guys are just having these injuries that they cannot overcome, or they're holding them out too long, running them out when they're at 60%, and it gets worse. They also seem to refuse to use the injured list. Donnie was out 6-7 days before they
Absolutely.
finally put him on the IL. Newbar is a permanent resident of the injured list, and he's off and on it, but they always seem to wait 3-4 days for something to clear up and play shorthanded, which puts them at a distinct disadvantage.
Yeah, and I don't understand why they do that. It's almost like they feel they don't want to use the Memphis shuttle like they say they want to all the time, or maybe it's just they don't have the people to come up and back these guys up. I mean, other than Hampson and Church up now, but like they never bring anybody up. It's like you're 100% accurate. They're willing to run them out there when they're 50, 60, 70% and not 100, which nobody's 100% this time of year, but for God's sakes, you're Major League Baseball players. You should have the best nutrition, strength training programs known to man.
You know who's never gotten hurt? Like Burleson. Look at that physique. That, ladies, is peak male performance. Hozo's never hurt. Look at those bodies.
Mm-mm.
No, you can't pull fat,
Exactly.
baby. You can't pull fat. Simple as that. Tyrell, as we head to our next topic, what if I told you the 2025 St. Louis Cardinals are going to make the playoffs? You guys
I'm
would be
in.
like, what? There's 32 games left, of course, pending today. My maths, and I'm not a math guy, they need to go 25-7, which would mean the Mets would have to go 18-15, the Reds 21-11, Arizona 24 wins or less. and you've got 6 against the Reds coming up in September, there's a mathematical chance here.
There
Simple as that.
there's always a chance. There's always a chance in any given sport for something to happen. You never know what's gonna go on. Like I said in the last pod, this team gets beat, but comes right back up to win 1, 2 here, there, win a series. That's all they gotta do, and I could see the paths there for them to be that final wild card this year.
Do they have it in them? Do they have a 7 out of 10, a 10 out of 12 run in them headed down the stretch here against playoff teams essentially in September? Seattle, San Francisco still kind of in the hunt, lingering. Milwaukee, of course, the best team in baseball statistically. Is there a run left?
I think so because, like I've also stated, I think the Cardinals play up to their competition level. So if they're going to be playing meaningful baseball, I think they're going to be trying that much harder to get up there. So I think, yeah, I think they're going to play up and they're going to make this go down to the wire.
They clear Pittsburgh this week, 3 against Cincinnati next weekend, which is going to be huge. That's the make or break series. If they can take 2 out of 3, there's still a shot, possibly. We'll actually be live shooting the show Saturday night from the game, so follow us on TikTok Live for there. We're really fired up for that. Then you clear Oakland for 3 games at home. Then it's nothing but San Francisco still fighting for its life. Seattle barely hanging on in the AL with the hard charging Royals. 3 against Milwaukee, 3 at home against Cincinnati, 3 at home against Milwaukee. A weird trip out west for 3. The Giants could be in or out at that point, and then 3 in the friendly confines to finish the season. So outside of Oakland, it's all playoff teams or teams fighting for its playoff life. Well, as we say a lot, there's always a chance. But is there that 25 win? You see 25 wins there, knowing how bad the pitching is currently.
And the hitting, not hitting, and Wynn being injured, and Victor Scott being out, Lars on the IL every other week.
Donnie's still hurt.
Donnie's still hurt.
But you're saying
You know
other
what?
than that, other than
Other
can't
than
pitch
that,
or those
yeah.
guys hurt, there's still a chance.
There's still a chance. I think so because I think the young guys they're bringing up, they don't give a shit. They're just going to play as hard as they can to make it. And I think because they're fighting for next year's roster right now, and I think you can make a run. I see 22 wins at least, and some others falling off. I don't think the Mets haven't been playing the greatest, and Cincinnati, I think you can beat them. I think you can get there.
You said something about guys coming up. What is your quick, and this wasn't on the rundown, your quick take on the first week plus here of Church in center field?
I liked his defense. I like his speed. Dude, he is fast down that line. I do like the athletics portion of him, and I was glad he finally got his first hit the other night. And he's taking good at bats, too, so I'm not there's an inkling that I like him. He's that hard-nosed, fast, I'm going to play as hard as I can type guy that, St. Louis just falls in love with, and the fans do too.
Is he going to project out to be a starter, though, or is he just another fourth outfielder, another guy that they're going to parade out that, hey, this guy's going to be something, and ultimately a fringe starter, fourth outfielder on a good team?
I think he's a fourth outfielder, but I think he's one of those late inning speed guys on the base paths and maybe a defensive replacement, which I was going to say for Jordan Walker, which I hate to keep saying that, but yeah, probably he's going to fourth outfielder.
We talk a lot about the pitching and how bad it is, and for them to legitimately make a run, they're going to have to pitch. Looking into it's 26. Who do you like? Who do you want to dump? Let's just go real quick here, rapid fire, and then we'll talk about some potential ads for the 26 season. Keep or dump, Tyrell, Sonny Gray.
You got to keep him. He's not going to waive that no trade clause anyway, but keep him, even though he's a number 2, 3 now at best. He's not an ace anymore.
I think I saw his ERA was like 48th overall in MLB.
Mhm,
That's not an ace, and you're paying him ace money.
mhm. Yeah,
Possibly the
but we
easiest
know the
one on this
DeWitts don't
list.
eat money.
Yeah, and they don't need money. The easiest one on this list, Miles Michaelis.
See you dump. Get out of here. Free agent anyway. You should have been DFA'd when we got rid of Fetty.
Speaking of Fetty, he was released today by the Braves.
It's all
So,
that.
I mean, let him clear it and he can come back. Dollar Bill they
So could
loved him
Jordan
a deal.
Montgomery. They do.
This is the interesting one on the list. Andre Palante.
I think he's a number 4 starter, maybe number 5 at best or at worst. Um, you keep him for his potential, but I think this year, again, with Libby the same way, he's hit that innings wall and can't come out of it. His arm's done. But strengthen him out. Again, strength and conditioning. He should be able to pitch this, but yeah, you got to keep Libby or keep him.
And then going from Palante to a Matthew Liberatore, who's supposed to throw today.
I'm keeping Liberatore because I've been really impressed with the way he came on this season and brought his mentality that he got in the bullpen to the starting rotation. And I could see him being your third starter after if you sign an ace or get somebody a little better this year. He'd be your third. He's a good lefty. I actually like him. I think we've all been criticizing the Randy Arozarena trade long enough, and we're finally getting some payback for that. And I think Libby got to keep.
The guy I've been impressed with the most young pitching wise this year, he's obviously an easy keep. He's not an ace. He's not going to be a superstar, but I think he's going to give you 200 innings long term. Is Michael McGreevy.
Hmm. I agree. I
He's
think
another
he's
easy
at
keep for me.
yeah, another easy keep. Yeah, you have to, especially the way he's performed. He has come out, looked good, and even that game that he got rocked early, he stayed in, adjusted, made pitches, and let the offense give him a chance to come back to win that game, which they ended up did. So I think McGreevy, I've liked his guts, his gusto, and the on-field adjustments that he's done. I think he was ready at the beginning of the year, and I think it was a bad idea to keep him down there as long as they did, just for insurance purposes. But I've really been impressed with McGreevy and his polished ability to come up and pitch like he has.
What would this season look like had McGreevy got those 20 starts that Fetty got? Where would they be right now?
Easily, you'd be fighting the Reds much closer. You'd be maybe half game, 1 game out where because I think he's at least 5, 6 more wins right there with Fetty being gone. So I think taking over Fetty, I think so. I think they'd be right there in the hunt, which is dangerous because what would they have done at the trade
The,
deadline
de-
too?
the deadline changes
Yeah.
potentially.
Hmm.
Looking at 26, and we'll talk about the bats on how to fix the offense probably on our next show. There's one guy who I see who's a free agent, who's going to be a bargain. It's going to put ass in seats, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but it's time to bring Max Scherzer home. You can get him for probably 1 year at $10 million. He's no longer 2016 Bulldog Max Scherzer, but he's going to make 30 starts. He's going to stabilize the rotation. He's going to give you 180 innings, and he's going to come cheap. Are we crazy to slot another old guy, which everyone criticized Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn last year, but are we crazy to want to throw Max Scherzer into the rotation in 26? Who wants to play at home? Been begging to play in St. Louis his whole career.
That's it right there. So I think you 100% try to get him in there. I'd love to see Max in a Cardinal uniform minus, I mean, it's 10 years too late, but I would love to see him. And I think you should do it just for your fan base to actually reach out and go, hey, here's a little bit of a superstar that you guys want to come and see. And I'd go see Max. I'm worried who's pitching next Monday. If it's Miles Michaelis, I feel bad me going to the game, but I can't watch another game Miles Michaelis come out there and pitch. I'd much rather at least see the potential of what Max Scherzer brings than I would any other of the what we've got in the old guys right now. But Gibson and Lynn did a great job with stabilizing that rotation last year, and I love Lynn's attitude. So yeah,
You
I
look
think
at a
Scherzer's
potential
not a crazy idea.
rotation of Max Scherzer, Sonny Gray, a Michael McGree, Matthew Liberatore, and Quinn Matthews. That's okay. Like, it's not going to set the world on fire, but there's some upside there and some stable on the front end and some potentially solid young arms on the back end. So I still think we're a year or two away from this year's draft crop coming up. Probably not until after 27.
Yeah, I agreed with you there. I also think it's a player option. I think you need to go out and sign more than Scherzer, but I think you start there. Shane Bieber's a player option for him to get go into the Blue Jays. I'd like to. I don't know if he's going to stick there, but he's looking good right now. I'd like to see that. I mean, there's a lot of free agent pitching out there with a lot of experience that's going to be available. That some of them could be cheap and on bounce back years, which is what the Cardinals have always kind of done. Is go for that bounce back year, and it's
Kyle Lowe's
kind
a
of
great
worked
example
out.
of
Look,
that,
yeah, yes, yes.
but that would require them to, do the one thing they don't like to do, and that's spend money. Next topic in our what if series, you got to go way back 30 years. That didn't seem like it was 30 years ago. 1995 offseason, Walt Jocketty was named GM, Tony La Russa just named manager. There were rumors at the time, and they were hot rumors, that the Cardinals were close on signing Craig Biggio of the Houston Astros at second base and Mark Grace, the Cub icon, at first. The deals were almost done. I wrote, what if those guys had signed in St. Louis to start the 1996 season? The rumor was Grace had some back problems. The Cardinals had switched to grass at the time, but wasn't real sure. Biggio was kind of concerned about switching from grass to turf because of some arm strength issues. That's why he stayed in Houston. But what kind of butterfly effect happens if Mark Grace and Craig Biggio are Cardinals through the end of the 90s and the early 2000s?
You don't lose a 3-1 lead against the Atlanta Braves in the 1996 NLCS, and you actually win that and go to the World Series and start dominating. You don't get, maybe not with Grace, but I mean, he was a leader. That bat, that guy always had that inside outside swing, take her to left field on you all the time. I liked Grace, even though he was a Cub. Can you imagine that with him and Ozzy? Because that was Ozzy's last year with Royce Clayton. That'd have been a fun combination to see. So you don't get McGuire.
That's
Do
the
you end
big
up
one.
drafting?
If you
Yeah,
have Mark Grace, you don't go trade for a Mark McGuire at the end of 97, in the 97 trade deadline. And that changes his whole franchise. That's where I go with it. You brought up that point when we were doing the rundown.
that changes baseball. I mean, if you get down to that, that changes baseball in whole general, because McGuire and Sosa with the home run chase brought people back to baseball. So I
McGuire
think,
ends up
wow, just
in
thinking
the
about that would,
McGuire ends up maybe in San Diego, possibly a Dodger at the time because he wanted to stay on the
yeah,
West
probably.
Coast. And then is the home run chase a big deal? He's not hitting home runs in San Diego. He and Sosa are going head to head in the division, so you're not getting those fun matchups all the time. It changes baseball. Do we have this
It
podcast?
does. It really
Because
does.
it killed. Because after the
Yeah,
strike,
exactly. Yeah,
baseball was dead.
100,
That's
100%
a
dead.
huge what if.
Hmm.
Finally today,
I
I just
like
went out
that.
to the gas station this afternoon, got my ticket. Tyrell, the Powerball currently valued at $750 million. After Uncle Sam takes his share, that's still 500 bills. What's the first thing you're buying?
My house, so I can pay it off and quit my job.
Such an old man answer.
It
Such
is.
an old man answer.
Man. My daughter, her college? No, I'm not doing that.
You're killing me. Remember when it used to be fun?
The first thing I'm buying is a bunch of cocaine and strippers. Like, that's the first. Like, if we're
There
gonna
we
be
go.
honest here, like, I'm going deep. Uh,
You know,
yeah, old man answered that. I'm paying off all my parents' debt, my debt, and the first thing I'm gonna buy is probably the new Dodge Ram half ton with that's $150,000. The Rebel, something SRX, something shiny and new.
Man, I'm bringing the WNBA to St. Louis and Kansas City and Columbia. I'm getting my own division right here. We looked it up before the show. It's a $50 million franchise fee paid over 10 years. That's $5 million a year. Around $100 million to buy a team, and that includes a practice facility. I'm buying the WNBA. I'm bringing Sophie Cunningham, the enforcer, back to Missouri, back home to Como.
Go.
That's
I
what I'm
love it.
buying with it.
It's a low key up and coming.
If we're gonna waste money, let's waste it on the WNBA.
Yeah, agreed. I like it.
We did try to decide if we were going to buy an MLB franchise. Tampa was the cheapest at $1.1 billion. Not with that stadium situation. The Royals at $1.3 billion. They could buy half the Royals.
Hey, blue's my favorite color, so I'm in. And with the new regional realignment, we're still playing the same division as Cardinals, so let's go. I wouldn't mind it.
You won't know if we win the lottery, but there'll be signs. If there's no podcast this week, we won the lottery. You'll never see us again. We're going to be at the ranch blowing through it rather quickly. Literally.
Mm-hmm. Damn right.
We will be back Thursday night with a quick short hop. Saturday, we are going to go live on our TikTok channel. For the first time in about a year and a half, we're going to be in the same room. The show is going to be live. Join us about 6:30 Central Time. Cardinals and Reds' first pitch is 5:40. So we will probably have some, in the words of Chris Duncan, man sodas and be kind of live talking about the game. The latest update is the game is getting ready to start here in about 10 minutes. So we're going to jump off for that. For the Mouth of the West, Tyrell Muck, I am Mitchell Jenkins. This has been a Mitch and Mauck'n about the card short hop. We will see you Tuesday night.